What is going on, y'all? This is Pay Me in Dividends, and today is February 15th, 2025. Now, the market is closed today, so there are no changes as of yesterday. My portfolio did close around $96,000, give or take. I am using the dividend tracker. It's a great tool to use just to track your dividends pretty much. The income estimator tends to be off a bit, but it really just fluctuates based off of the previous month's payment. And so it's a good tool to use. It gives you a ballpark of where you are as far as dividends in your portfolio and whatnot. But since the market is closed today, I want to talk about KURV ETFs, and I want to compare it to YieldMax. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use AMZP, which is the Amazon Option Income ETF from KURV, and I'm going to compare it to AMZY, which is the one from YieldMax. All right, so basically what these are option income ETFs that perform options in the market. They extract option premium, and then they pay you out the premium from the options in the form of a dividend, and they do pay monthly. But I want to look a little deeper into these, right? So we have the charts up. Here's the chart for AMZP, which is from KURV ETFs, and we can see in the past year it is actually up about 7%. Now let's look at AMZY from YieldMax, right? In the past year it is down 15%. So again, AMZP from KURV is up 7%. AMZY is down 15%. And if we look at the actual Amazon stock itself, it is up 34% over the year, right? So the first thing you'll notice is AMZP is trending up along with Amazon. The Amazon stock itself, it still underperformed it as far as, share price appreciation, but it has gone up along with Amazon, whereas the YieldMax one has gone down. And so I want to look deeper into this. So what I did is I actually downloaded the holdings. You can go on these websites, right, of these ETF managers, whether it's KURV, YieldMax, Rex, Roundhill, Defiance, whatever the case is, and you can actually go ahead and download the holdings. Right here you'll see downloaded holdings. And so what I did is I already downloaded these holdings. So look, check it out, right? I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. So basically these are the open option contracts for AMZP from KURV ETFs, the option income ETF based off of Amazon. So the first thing you'll notice are these dates with the calls and puts. Now, if you're not familiar with options, this may look confusing, and trust me, I'm not an expert when it comes to options. This is one of the main reasons why I really like these option income ETFs, because you basically allow the ETF managers to perform options on your behalf, and then they pay you out the option premium in the form of a dividend. However, I do think it is good to have a general idea of what's going on and how these ETF managers are actually making money and how they're able to pay you that dividend every month, right? So the first thing we're going to look at is KURV tends to have a more conservative approach when it comes to options. They use a higher strike price, and so I'll show you exactly what I mean right here. So they use a higher strike price, and they're more conservative as well. So the first thing I want to look at is this option right here. So basically what they did is they performed a call option, right? You can see the C210. This one is P210, which is a put. What they did is a call, right? And so pretty much what's going on here is because the price of Amazon, the stock itself, is higher than $210, right? Which is the strike price on this. It has increased in value, and you can see that this is a pretty conservative option play, because if you notice, the date is out in April, so it's still about 2 months away. And because Amazon is already trading higher than this 210 strike price, they've already gained over $1 million in value. Now, if you look at the percentage of the fund as far as just options go, that is the majority of their options. So again, it's a very conservative approach. They're not doing anything too fancy here. They're basically kind of making easy money in the market. I mean, market fluctuates. You can't predict what's going to happen in the future. But when you make an option play like this, it's pretty conservative, and you basically know what you're going to get. You'll also notice that a lot of these funds hold a lot of treasury bills, which basically just gives the funds that level of stability, and they're also generating a yield off of these treasury bills. It's usually anywhere from like 3 to 5%, and so it just keeps remains stable. But the bigger point I'm trying to make here is this is the reason why they're able to capture more price appreciation, right? As we can see here, they're able to capture more price appreciation versus AMZY, right? Because they are using a much more conservative approach versus YieldMax with this particular fund. And again, you guys can compare other funds as well. I'm kind of cherry picking this one only because I own AMZP, but you can go ahead and go line by line and compare each fund, KURV versus YieldMax, and kind of see for yourself where the numbers are at. But I'm using Amazon as the example because I actually own AMZP. Now we'll see here for YieldMax, you can see that most of these dates are very, very soon, right? So the turnover, so this contract basically expires next week, all three of these contracts, and basically there's a quick turnover in options when it comes to YieldMax because they're trying to extract premium quickly so that they can pay you out that huge dividend. Now it works until it doesn't, and some funds have held up, as for the most part. As you guys know, I do have 1,000 shares of MSTY and 800 shares of NVDY, and mostly I have Misty because of its big Bitcoin correlation, and I do believe that Bitcoin will continue to go up in the future. But you really just have to do your research on these individual funds because not all of them are created equally, and every ETF manager has a different strategy, right? So you can see that these are a lot more aggressive, and you'll also notice here, right? This one is at negative $14 million. Basically, they lost a lot of money on this option right here. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and pretend like I know exactly what type of option strategy this is as far as like the technical verbiage and stuff. I'm just not an expert when it comes to options. This is why I allow them to do the options for me and then just pay me out. But again, this is not a good look, right? Anybody can see this and see that this is not a good look, and it translates to the chart, right? You can look at the chart again and you can see it's down. Now they are paying huge dividends, right? 37%. But if you compare it to KURV is still paying a 24% yield on their Amazon option ETF. So I would argue that this would be a better play as far as this comparison. Again, you can go through the entire suite of ETFs and compare them line by line. KURV has some options in here, right? They have the Amazon option ETF, Apple, Netflix, Microsoft, Google, Tesla, and you can just compare it line to line and see which ones you like better. But between these two, I think the Amazon option ETF from KURV is a better option. Now, I'm going to show you how this actually translates in total return. So what I have here is the dividendchannel.com, where you can basically compare stocks to one another. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the chart, right? So we can see since October of 2023. Now these lines are gonna mislead you a bit. Now we're gonna dig into the information, right? So this is assuming the growth of $10,000 that was invested in October of 2023 with the dividends reinvested, right? So if you look at that with the dividends reinvested, it doesn't look like there's much of a difference, right? AMZP from KURV has slightly outperformed AMZY from YieldMax, but it's not much of a difference, right? Total return 57% for KURV, total return 56% for YieldMax. But here's the thing, right? If you look at without the dividends reinvested, you can see there's a big difference here, right? AMZP has outperformed AMZY in total return by 8%, over 8% here, 7 to 8%. Now, the thing I really want you guys to look at is look at the share price difference, right? So AMZP on October 31st of 2023 was trading at $25 a share. As of today, it is trading at $31 a share. There was a $6 increase in share price. If we go over here to AMZY from YieldMax, you'll see that there was a $2 decrease, right? So AMZY, the share price decreased while the KURV ETF increased, right? And so when you look at total return, you have to take all things into consideration. You have to look at the dividends and the share price. Listen, I'm all about generating income, right? I'm all about having an income portfolio that generates massive dividends, but I also do not want my principal to erode over time. I would also like to grow my money while generating dividends as well. And that is why I actually added AMZP here recently, and I'm probably going to buy some more shares of it as well, because I don't want to just generate a bunch of dividends, but my principal decline slowly over time, right? I want my principal to grow. It's not going to grow as much as, maybe the S&P or the NASDAQ or Bitcoin, but I would like some price appreciation when it comes to my principal, while simultaneously generating those dividends as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. You guys let me know in the comments though. What do you think about KURV ETFs? Did I miss anything here? Again, I'm not an options expert. If I explain something completely wrong, please let me know, because I'm here to learn as well. But that's basically my take on why KURV ETFs are able to capture a lot more price appreciation versus the YieldMax version. So again, you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think? And as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.